Hello and welcome to Mondays with Maria Gould. Thank you for joining me. Today is Monday, May the 19th, 2025, and today's episode is episode 20, and we're going to talk about chakras. What are they and how do they affect me? So in case you've never heard of the word chakra, C-H-A-K-R-A, it literally means wheel of light. Chakras are energy centers in our body. And if you were to think of everything as energy, science has proven this, right? Everything is atoms and molecules and literally energy. But depending on how fast that energy vibrates, it makes the energy of that feel solid, like our bodies. Now, in ancient times, the great sages of India and the East literally did so many spiritual practices that they started to see the body as energy. And they started to intuitively see the 7 chakras of the body. Now, these chakras, let's begin at our root chakra. This is our base chakra, and it is at our tailbone. The color of this chakra is just like the color of all of the rainbow. So we start with the red, the base color. Now, how this relates to your body. If you were to think of all of the chakras like colors that go through a prism, right? If you have a prism hanging in your window and the sunlight is shining through it, the prism takes the light and actually branches it into the 7 colors of the rainbow. And if really, when I took my yoga training with my first yoga instructor for chakra yoga training, this is how he described the chakras. So the light of creation is like the sunlight that shines through the prism. And the prism, he said, is like our mind, our consciousness. And that light thus becomes the 7 chakras, or the 7 colors of the prism of light shining through that beautiful prism hanging in your window. So our root chakra is our base chakra, and the energetic color of this is red, and it is at our tailbone, and it relates to the earth. This is literally the energy of how the atoms first come into form and create solid matter. So this affects our body through our adrenal glands, through our kidneys. Of course, it'll affect our skeletal system. This is our structure, our bones. Okay. Now, things that are red, if you want to help your chakras and help your grounding, the more that you have red foods like red apples, strawberries, raspberries, those kinds of things will help this root chakra. Now, if this center is out of balance, people can be very insecure because this is our basis of feeling grounded, feeling secure with who we are, and our safety is all related here. So if people feel unsafe, of course, they're going to be insecure, they may be violent, they may have physical issues in the areas that I talked about, right? In the bones, in the skeletal system. They might also have difficulty with actually manifesting. If they are blocked in this chakra, they might have a hard time with the physical reality. So they might have physical problems. They might have a hard time feeling grounded. They might feel very scattered and kind of easy to be flighty, right? Because if we don't feel safe, then we're going to be in that limbic system that is causing us to go into fight or flight. So how do you help balance the chakras? Well, something is to make sure that you are being aware of these energies. I will attach in the show notes actually a beautiful sound healing meditation with some crystal bowls that is quite lovely to help heal the chakras. So I will include that, a crystal bowl meditation. But just things like eating the correct food, toning with certain tones, the meditation talks about that. So I won't go into that specifically. If you would like to be on my email list, it's a good idea. On my email list, you'll actually get more details of any of the podcasts as well as other articles, great videos and teachings around all different types of subjects. Okay, so you can find my newsletter at the top of my website at mariagould.com and sign up for my newsletters to stay informed every week. So balancing this chakra, go outside, earth, put your feet in the grass, in the dirt, in the sand. This helps balance that root chakra. Now let's move on to the second chakra. So moving up the body a little bit from the tailbone to the navel or just below the navel. This is the sacral chakra. And this is the area of our sensuality, our sexuality. So once we feel safe with the root chakra, then our next most primitive energy is reproduction, right? So that's where this energy is held. But this is also more about our creativity as well. This is where our energy of abundance and relationships can come into play. Now the color here is orange. So things that would help this color are, of course, orange, coral, amber, crystals, gold topaz, carnelian, right? Those crystals could help it. Orange foods, right? As well as water. This is the element of water. The first chakra was related to the earth. The second one is related to water. So making sure that you're balancing your body with giving yourself healthy water, even taking showers and baths with intention of cleansing your energy and not just cleansing your body can be very, very powerful for this chakra and balancing it. So this chakra, the navel chakra or sacral chakra, governs, of course, over our reproductive organs. So whether we're female and it is our ovaries, our uterus, or else male, it's our testes, our prostate, our genitals. Okay, but it's also our water organs. So it's also our bladder, a little bit of kidneys, but kidneys are more ruled in the root chakra. So if you have trouble with your lymphatic system, your circulation, it may have something to do with your navel chakra. So as you're going up and moving into the solar plexus is right in line with where your stomach is. This is a beautiful yellow color, just like our sun. And this is the energy of our personal power. This is our self-worth, our self-esteem. This is also governing over our stomach, of course, our pancreas, a little bit of the gallbladder, some of our nervous system, some of our muscles. So things that can help balance this are, of course, yellow foods. So we've got bananas, yellow potatoes, and things like that, yellow apples. So when we're looking at crystals, things like amber, things like citrine, okay, all could help balance this. Also wearing gold can help balance this chakra. So some of the things that can happen in this chakra is as our consciousness, right? Think of the root chakra as our survival instincts, whether we're safe or not. Then the second chakra is going to move you into reproduction, because once people feel safe, sort of that next base emotion will be reproduction. Now the solar plexus moves our consciousness into self-awareness. So this has to be self-esteem. This is also our individuality. So the chakras are literally a lifelong learning. There's so much to learn from them. They're intricately woven, not as your energy systems, but they are part of your nervous system and actually your nerve plexus. So they're wired into your nervous system and so much more. I could do 20 podcasts about chakras and how cool they are. So I'm just going to give you a real basic understanding. But that solar plexus is where people start to learn their independence. So whereas the root chakra is and the second chakra are about relationships and safety and feeling safe in those relationships, the solar plexus is like the teenager that starts to move out of the nest and become more independent. So this is our individuality, our will, also our self-worth and self-esteem. This is where our empathic sense can really get activated. So if you have a tendency to kind of feel the energy that is in a room, if you walk into it and you can tell that there was an argument or somebody was having a fight and you can tell that, this is an empathic sense, a psychic sense, and this is the first opening of our psychic senses, is the solar plexus. So how do we balance this one? Well, definitely positive self-talk is really important. Making sure that you are taking time for self-care, right? This is about individuality, so not really relationships, but your relationship with yourself. So doing things that help you feel cared for by yourself, right? Now, if you have digestion problems, a lot of times this could be a sign the solar plexus chakra needs a little bit more love, a little bit more attention. So taking time to make good food for yourself, eat well. Also laughing, right? If you've ever laughed so hard with your friends that you actually feel your stomach hurt, and that's because it's a good sign that you're balancing that solar plexus chakra. Now this one is related to the element of fire. So even being around fire, like it is summer here in Canada and we like to sit outside and have a fire sometimes. And that fire energy is very purifying for your whole energetic field, for your chakras. So it can help actually balance that solar plexus chakra. If you don't have access to a fire pit, you can always have a safe, in a nice glass container candle. And just even when you sit in a bath or reading a book, you can have a candle going that is actually close to your energetic field within, 4 to 5 feet of you. It'll clear your energetic field and help balance the solar plexus. So that's kind of cool. So let's move our awareness up now to the heart chakra. The heart chakra is, of course, right in the center of the chest. This is our heart space. This is the color of emerald green. And this is our area of unconditional love. This is where we start to move into loving self, loving others, being more considerate, more caring. This is the element of air. So think of it in your heart space is exactly where your lungs are. So that makes sense. The element that is controlling this area is the element of air. So this is, of course, controlling the heart, the thymus gland. the circulation, the arms, the hands, the lungs. So things that can help balance this chakra is, of course, some of the crystals of emerald, green or pink tourmaline, right? Green jade, different green stones such as that, ruby as well, any of the darker pink or red stones. Rose quartz is very good for the heart chakra. And these qualities of moving towards forgiveness, compassion, understanding, this is where we start to be more aware rather than just ourselves of others. So we can practice more acceptance of others, more tolerance, those kinds of things. So if the heart space is out of balance, of course, if you get a broken heart from a relationship, if you lose a loved one, that can affect our heart chakra, close it down. If you feel you've been betrayed, this can shut our heart chakra down. So all of this energy we can look at by doing theta healing. Theta healing is a beautiful modality that uses the energy of creation, of God, to connect into, do intuitive readings, and then bring healing to different circumstances, different past traumas, to heal them and help you move forward. Very powerful modality that I practice and teach. And you are welcome to check out more on my website at mariagould.com. So in the heart space, right, if there are issues with circulation or the heart, you want to do things like eat your greens, right? Go out in nature, being in nature that is so beautiful and green, breathing fresh air. All of this will be good for our heart space, right? Doing things that bring you that feeling of joy into your heart. If you have pets or children that bring you joy, if you have grandchildren that bring you joy, do things to open your heart and let your heart sing. Can be very healing for the heart chakra. All right, so let's move now into the throat chakra. And this is at the throat, the solar plexus, the very center in that notch of your throat is the throat chakra. The color is sky blue. And this is where our consciousness moves into speaking our truth and divine truth or channeling. So to be able to open this chakra, we first of all have to be able to communicate our own truth and to communicate it in a good way, right? We need to be able to hear other people's truth without compromising our own. This is also the chakra of vibration. So as you're listening to my voice, the vibration of my voice and the different tones that my voice makes sends signals through the phone into your ears that your little cool ear bones actually vibrate and translate those vibrations into the words that I'm speaking. So it is quite magical when you really think about the logistics of speech and communication. Now this chakra rules over the thyroid, the parathyroid, the hypothalamus, the throat, the ears. Anything that is the color of that sky blue. So like celestine is a crystal that is very helpful for this. Kyanite, aquamarine is also, lapis lazuli is also great. Blue topaz, right? So some of these beautiful blue colors are helpful for the throat. Apache tear can be a very powerful, I know it's a black stone, but it can be very powerful to open the throat chakra, especially if you have any First Nations or Native American blood. The actual folklore around that is that it was tears from Apache women when they lost their men in war that created those stones. So That ability to release your voice and mourn and have your voice heard is a very powerful, powerful thing for the throat chakra. So people that communicate well, that can speak with discernment and tact, that share their knowledge and communicate well, mean that their throat chakra is fairly open. But if you would like to work on it, sometimes the throat comes out of balance, and maybe we weren't allowed to speak our truth as a child. So this kind of stuck energy in our throat can literally cause throat issues, communication issues, even up into the teeth or the ears. So, I really enjoy chanting. If you've never ever tried that, find a yoga studio, and they will sometimes do chanting of Om, which is considered the sound of the universe, or the word of God. It's another way to kind of hear the undulating sound of the universe. And when you chant those vibrations, your voice heals your body. So literally, one of the most powerful healing tools you have in your arsenal for healing is your own voice. So if you record your voice, reading a meditation or saying positive affirmations, and then you listen to your voice speaking that affirmation, speaking that meditation, it actually will be very healing for you. Your own frequency of your voice is made to heal you. So if you have an aversion to listening to your voice, you might want to practice that so that you can get over that aversion, because it is extremely healing for you. All right, let's move on to the 6th chakra. This is at the brow, so right between your eyebrows, but slightly above. This is the 3rd eye as well. Now the color here is related to indigo, and it's also related to taking in light. Now let's go back for a second. The element of the throat chakra, which I forgot to mention, is the energy of ether. So if you're in the metaphysical world, you might know ether is sort of space, or the energy that is around you in all things, not the energy of air, but it is the space that holds the air, and that is the throat. Now the brow is related to light and taking light in. So this is the consciousness of your 3rd eye being open, being able to intuitively see the energy of the body, like the chakras, to intuitively be able to see maybe your ancestors that have crossed over, or angels, or the energy around things like auras. So as this 3rd eye opens, it literally opens your consciousness as well. So whereas the throat is all about communicating and starting to channel divine messages, the brow is starting to be able to see more spectrums of light. Now, science tells us that our human sight only sees a very, very tiny spectrum of the visual light spectrum. And I believe that the 3rd eye actually has the potential to learn to see a lot more of that spectrum. So the glands that are affected by this are the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, and of course the eyes, nose, ears as well. So some crystals that can be helpful with this 3rd eye area is rutilated quartz, and just even quartz crystals, sapphire, tourmaline, azulite, lapis lazuli. So when you're thinking of the brow and that 3rd eye chakra, this is all about consciousness expansion. So this is your insights, your intuition, the realization that you are more than a body, right? It's also your imagination, it's clairvoyance, it's your ability to concentrate, your peace of mind, your wisdom, devotion. And it's knowing how to see beyond duality, to see the energy behind all things. So if there is sort of a block in the third eye, there may be headaches. There may be a lot of fear because you're stuck in more duality. There might be cynicism or criticalness, tension, eye problems, bad dreams, even a lack of concentration, overly detached from the world. All of these things might be a sign that your third eye needs some balancing. So, doing things that actually open you up to light is very good. Go outside, get sunlight in your eyes, not staring at the sun, but if you can sit outside when the sun is rising without any corrective lenses or sunglasses on, and if it comes over the horizon and you can look at the sunlight through trees, but that first little bit of light touching your eyes is going to reset your circadian rhythm. It's going to decalcify your pineal gland, which is very much tied to your third eye being open. This will really, really help the third eye be open, setting you up for a healthy, happy life. Okay. Now, the very last chakra I'll talk about, there are more chakras in my opinion than just 7, but 7 are the classic 7 chakras. So the last one is the 7th crown chakra, and this is the chakra at the crown of the head. Think of this as when a baby is born in that tiny little soft spot that they have in their head. This is where your crown chakra originates. Now, this is the color of violet, and this is related to thought, consciousness. Okay, now this is related to a lot of our hormones and our central nervous system. Okay, our cerebral cortex, our ability to have knowledge and wisdom. Now, to help this crown be open, amethyst is a wonderful stone, diamonds, purple fluorite, quartz crystal, selenite. All of these are very helpful for the crown. And when the crown is open, a lot of times there will be a lot of spiritual connection, inspiration, that idea of being united with people, not being divisive, the divine wisdom, people can see through dualism when their crown is open. They see the oneness in all things. They also might be able to perceive through space and time. So it's the understanding of that we are eternal beings, right? We are more than this physical body. So if the crown is closed, people will have definitely a lack of inspiration. They can be confused, even severe depression, feeling alienated, hesitation to serve. Also, mental instability can come if the crown is closed. So making sure that you use your mind in a good way, thinking of things that are healthy and positive for you. Having that attitude of gratitude is a great way to keep the crown open. Having a connection with a spiritual energy, whether that you call that energy God, Jesus, the Buddha, whatever your energy of that connection is, this helps to open your crown. So think of the crown as literally the light that is coming through the prism that we talked about. So if your crown is closed, it can really affect all of your chakras. So using purple light, you can buy purple sunglasses off of the internet. Having purple over the eyes is actually helpful to open the crown. Also high vibrations. So when you lie down and relax for 14 minutes with the meditation that I share in the show notes, that is the crystal bowl healing for the chakras. It can be so beautiful and relaxing. So if you resonated with today's talk and you feel in your knowingness that you might have a block here or there in your chakras and you would like some help and support to open these up, you're more than welcome to reach out through my website at mariagould.com, and we can book you a session to take a look at those and help you open up and receive more light. Thank you for tuning in today. Wishing you a wonderful, wonderful Monday, and blessings. Have a beautiful day.